Hello again, Jess Sherman, registered holistic nutritionist, and this is post number 4 in my series about managing picky eaters. So post 1, 2, and 3, if you haven't seen them, go back. There's links on this page. You can go back and watch those and then come back here. Those posts were a little bit more about the social dynamic things that can sometimes underlie picky eating behavior and some of the things that you can do to try to equalize things, normalize things. This post here, I want to tackle 3 physiological things that might be going on underlying the pickiness. Please read the post because there's more in the post than I'm going to add in the video. There's some more detail in there that you might find helpful and some other links to other posts that I've written about concerning the same sort of issues that might help you out. So please read that and I'm going to go over sort of the basics in the video. Okay, so the first one is nutrient deficiencies. There are a few nutrients that are associated with the sense of smell and taste, and also the development of the appetite. So, and the hormones that regulate appetite and satiety. So sometimes underlying this picky behavior, what looks like picky behavior, is actually a nutrient deficiency. And what I have found that works well in some cases is a broad spectrum mineral supplementation with added zinc and possibly added B12. If your child is feeling really exhausted, also add in the B12 as well. I've put a link on my page here to a place where you can see the supplements that I recommend and that I have used, and you can either buy them there or you can just buy them at the store. So that's number 1, is nutrient deficiencies. Physiological issue number 2 is digestive dysfunction. There are lots of posts on my blog about how I feel about digestion. Having good digestion regulates so many different processes in the body, and so many of us have poor digestion, which is really lying at the root of so many of our issues. So you can read about those elsewhere. There's links on this blog post to them. But here's what it looks like with picky eaters. In our guts, there is a consortium of yeast, viruses, parasites, bacteria, and fungi who are working together to keep things in balance. There are so many things in our environment that affect that balance. There's secondhand smoke, there's toxic chemicals, there's antibiotics, there's chlorine in our water. So there's a whole bunch of different things. All of these things work to create what is called dysbiosis, which is an imbalance in that gut ecosystem. When that happens, one of the typical symptoms is a sugar craving, because sugar feeds yeast and pathogenic bacteria. So, of course, if you have a lot of them in your gut, they're just saying, feed me, feed me, feed me, give me more, more, more. And what this can look like is a craving for carbohydrates. So the child who is craving white pasta, bread, crackers, that's all they want to eat. They don't want to eat anything else except for those carbohydrate-rich foods. This might be going on. I've also put a list together of some of the typical yeast symptoms. If your child is experiencing any of these, you might have a proliferation of yeast, and you need to knock back the yeast and feed the good bacteria so that things balance in there. Now, some things you can try at home are to increase probiotics. You can do this through supplements, you can do this through fermented foods, and sometimes that will do the trick. If it's a much more advanced kind of situation, you're going to need something like a grapefruit seed extract or an olive leaf extract, or maybe even a pharmaceutical like Sporanox to knock back that yeast so that the bacteria that you're taking in the form of a probiotic has a place to colonize. So sometimes when you balance this inner ecosystem, the pickiness melts away because the craving for carbohydrate melts away. So the third thing here is a sensory or processing developmental issue. Now, this is something that's a little bit outside my scope of practice, but I wanted to include it here because sometimes it underlies picky eating. These are the children who are having trouble learning how to negotiate their tongue and how to figure out how to swallow and chew properly. And if they can't do that, then they don't want to eat. If your child is developing pretty normally, is learning to speak, is a little bit older, can use a straw, these sorts of things, this is probably not the issue. But in some young children, this can surface as a possible underlying cause of picky eating. So you would need the help of an occupational therapist or a speech therapist who is trained in these motor sensory therapies that can help out with that. Okay, so those are 3 physiological things that can be underlying a picky eating behavior. And if you have experienced it with any of this, please comment below. If you have questions, please comment below, and I'll do my best to help you out. And share your experiences so that other parents can benefit from what you have been through. What worked, what hasn't worked, what questions do you have? Please comment below. Okay, I hope you have a great day, and I hope this series really helped you out. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in another video.